So a lot of doctors I talk to, they're thinking about side businesses. Some want more income, some just want more flexibility, and some are just looking for something different. I love hearing that. I think it's healthy for physicians to think beyond a single paycheck or a single role. I love that diversification. But I've also seen side businesses that might make life harder instead of easier. So in this episode, I want to talk through when a side business actually makes sense for a doctor and when it usually doesn't. Not to discourage you, but to help you make a decision you won't regret. So stay tuned. Welcome to the Passive Income MD podcast, where we talk about creating your ideal life through multiple streams of income. If you enjoy hearing about this stuff, make sure to hit subscribe. Now let's get on with the show. Now, this is a topic I think a lot about, mostly because I talk to physicians about it all the time. I mean, there are a lot of doctors out there, unfortunately, who aren't feeling a ton of fulfillment. Obviously, medicine has changed. The pace is heavier. The administrative burden's real, and the autonomy, it just isn't always there. So it makes complete sense that people start looking for alternatives. And I want to be clear about this right up front. I actually love when physicians explore other sources of income. I think that diversification of income and that whole diversification of identity, I think it's extremely and incredibly important. But I've also seen something else happen. Some people aren't just exploring, they're trying to get out. And sometimes a side business becomes a way to hide from or escape from medicine without really thinking things through, really not thinking about what they're actually trading away. And that's where things can quietly go wrong. In my experience, doctors usually come to side businesses from one of two places. The first is this concept of expansion. They're curious. They're thinking long-term. They want options. They may not love every part of medicine, but maybe they don't hate it altogether. They just don't want it to be the only thing they rely on forever. And that's usually a healthy place to start. The second place is escape. They're burnt out. They're frustrated. They're feeling trapped. And they're hoping that a business or even investing in real estate or something like that will fix that feeling quickly. And again, there's nothing wrong with feeling just tired or burnt out, but building something from a place of urgency, like it's your last resort, almost always makes it harder. Now, I've talked to physicians who told me they wanted to start a business again, or get into real estate. And when we slowed down and had a full conversation, it really wasn't about the businesses at all. They just wanted some sort of relief. They needed out. When that's the starting point, everything just seems a ton heavier. And the learning curve, it can actually feel pretty unbearable. Setbacks feel personal. And instead of just creating freedom, the side business just becomes another source of stress. Joining a mastermind group was a pivotal moment in my life. Within the first year, my income tripled. And by year 4, it had increased 20-fold. But the benefits went far beyond financial gains. I found myself surrounded by a network of like-minded individuals, forming connections that would become lifelong friendships. And the collective wisdom and support from this community played a crucial role in my success and personal development. From these amazing experiences, I felt a strong desire to create a similar community for my colleagues and peers, and that's you. That's why I launched Momentum MD Mastermind. People have been asking what this is. Momentum MD, or MMD for short, is designed to offer the same transformational powers in both personal and professional growth that I've experienced. It's not just about increasing your income. It's about creating this amazing environment where you can thrive, learn, and grow alongside other ambitious and supportive like-minded individuals. MMD provides a space where members can share their challenges, celebrate their victories, and push each other and keep each other accountable to reach new heights. It's about building a network of professionals who are committed to helping each other succeed. We focus on actionable strategies, accountability, and fostering an environment of continuous improvement. So whether you're looking to advance in your career, start a new venture, or simply find more balance and fulfillment in your life, MMD is here to support you every step of the way. Now, if this resonates with you in some way and you're interested in learning more, we'd love to hear from you. To learn more about the Momentum MD Mastermind and to pre-apply for a call with us, please visit MomentumMD.com. Let's see how we can help elevate your life to the next level. There are limited spots, so don't wait. Take the first step towards your transformation today. You won't regret it. Now, here's something I think we need to be very honest about. Being a physician, it's still one of the most reliable and well-compensated uses of your time that's out there. I mean, from a purely financial standpoint, it's hard to beat. Let's be honest about that. And I think the last thing most doctors want is to move from a highly paid, reliable job into like a high effort business that pays less, is even more stressful, at least for a long time. Now, I've seen doctors jump into things like active real estate or some small businesses thinking, again, it's going to be easier, only to realize that they just traded one form of burnout for another. Different problems, same exhaustion. And that doesn't mean those paths are bad. Again, I love real estate investing. I love entrepreneurship. I'm passionate about both those things. It just means we need to be honest about the trade-offs. A side business doesn't automatically reduce work. Often it increases it before it gets better. It's a compounded return. This is where I want to slow down because this is the core of the episode. A side business should expand your options, not replace your identity. Now, if you're looking at a side business as a thing that has to save you, that has to fix everything, or that has to become who you are, now, that's a lot of pressure to put on it. But when a side business, it's about expansion. It feels lighter. It feels fun. It feels like you're pulled to it. When it's about replacement, again, it feels urgent and heavy, and we don't want that. That difference matters more than the idea itself. So when does a side business actually make sense for a doctor? It usually makes sense when you have some margin, a little bit of space, not unlimited time, just enough energy or bandwidth to learn without feeling that stress or panicking. It makes sense when you're not relying on it to replace your income quickly. It makes sense when you can be patient with the process. And it definitely makes sense when you still respect medicine for what it is, at least at the time being. It's a powerful income engine. And this is something I believe in strongly. For many physicians, their clinical income is actually their greatest asset. I mean, I've seen doctors take that income and use it intentionally. They keep practicing medicine. They didn't rush, but they use that stability to funnel that income into passive investments, to invest slowly, to learn, to experiment without that pressure before it became urgent. Obviously, that's the ideal time. And over time, that created real options for people. Not overnight freedom, which would be nice, that we'd all love that, but flexibility, choice, optionality. And that's a totally different experience than needing a business or something to work immediately. Now, when does a side business not really make any sense? I mean, on the flip side, a side business is usually a bad idea when you're already maxed out, you're exhausted, you're overwhelmed. Maybe you feel like you're barely holding things together. I know we've all been there before. Just adding another responsibility is rarely a good idea. It's also a bad idea when you're hoping the side business is going to reduce your stress right away. I mean, most side businesses increase stress again before they reduce it, just because you're learning something new and trying something new. Now, if you're doing this primarily out of fear, out of comparison to someone else, or even just feeling that crazy urgency, that's a signal to pause. And here's a line worth sitting with. A side business rarely fixes burnout. It usually exposes it. Sometimes the better move is not adding something new. It's stabilizing what you already have, reducing some hours, creating breathing room, and addressing the source of all that exhaustion and burnout first. Waiting can sometimes be the smartest decision. I mean, people know me. I'm not usually one who loves to wait, but I've learned over time, sometimes that's the best way to go, even if it doesn't feel productive. As you all know, I'm a big believer in diversification of income, of identity as well, too. I don't think that one role should meet all of your needs. Maybe you don't have all that pressure on it, then it allows you to expand. I mean, medicine doesn't have to be all or nothing. The truth is you don't need to abandon your highest earning skill to build in choice, to build in optionality. If you can funnel your physician income into things you care about, or even better, into things that are aligned with you and then eventually are passive, like you put yourself in a much stronger position. And that's not about escaping medicine. That's about using it intentionally. So if you do nothing else after listening to this episode, I'd encourage you to sit with these 3 questions. First, ask this. Am I building this side income, this side business to expand my options or to escape my current situation? Second, do I have enough margin or space to be patient with this? And third, would I still pursue this if it took longer and paid less than I hoped? Now, if you hesitate on all 3, that's not a failure. That's just more information for you. It might just mean the timing isn't quite right yet. And I think this goes without saying. You don't have to figure out any of this alone. I mean, some physicians are perfectly fine reflecting on this and taking their time with this. Others want structure. They want guidance, a community as they think through income, as they think through optionality, as they think through next steps. Find other people who are thinking like you. Obviously, we have a huge community in Passive Income MD through our Leverage and Growth Accelerators and our Momentum MD, where we talk about these things. But I suggest finding a community, whether it's local or online, to find people who can support you throughout this journey. You don't have to go through this alone. And remember, the goal is not to push people out of medicine, but to help them expand thoughtfully, sustainably, and of course, when the time is right. And if that's not where you are yet, that's completely fine too. Like, you don't need to rush into a side business or a side hustle or side gig to build a life you enjoy. They're just tools. They're not necessarily the one and only solution. Timing matters just as much as the idea. You don't need to leave medicine completely to create freedom. You just need some clarity, some patience, and respect for the season you're in. Once you get those right, the opportunities will still be there. Thanks, everyone. Let's talk again soon. Enjoy the show? Let me know by dropping a review in the podcast app you're listening to us in. And if you haven't already, make sure to hit subscribe. Join thousands of physicians who are also on this journey to creating their ideal lives through multiple streams of income. Learn more at our website, passiveincomemd.com. Thanks again for allowing me to be a part of your journey. See you next time.